Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Sports Time HQ. I am your host, Fernando. Joined with me today is my great co-host, Gary. Gary, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. It's getting closer to the draft season. Can't wait. I know you can't wait either. So we're just going to dive into it a little more today.
What are we, 18 days, I believe? 18 days away from day one?
Yeah.
I believe April 24th is the official live draft day, which we're going to try and get some guest stars on the show and do it. I still just can't believe I was trying to do the time difference, and to think that the show is going to start at 3:30 in the morning for me.
That's rough. That is very rough.
I guess I'm built different because I also work here and I didn't go to bed last night until 6 a.m. this time. So I guess you could say I'm training for the marathon.
Yeah, right.
The marathon that we are going to have later on this month. But we got a good month of shows. We got a lot of mock drafts going on, and that's always going to be fun. But before we actually dive into some NFL news, Gary, we talked a little bit about the March Madness, and we are officially here in the final two. I want to ask you the most important question. How's Duke doing?
Obviously not pretty well after the finish of that last game. That was pretty bad. But both teams that I thought were going to win ended up losing. That's usually how it goes. Can't believe I have to root for Florida, but I think that's the direction that I'm going to go.
Go Florida. That's what we want. They're the ones that beat UConn, so I have to root for them, But I did see a meme, and this leads into NFL-related business. I saw a meme, actually, that Connor Flagg, I believe, the freshman, that he choked just as bad as how Matt Ryan and the Falcons did in the Super Bowl. They lost 28-3.
Yeah, I can't say it's that extreme, but I
no, of course not. Of course not. But
it was pretty upsetting. And I mean, listen, he is an unbelievable player. But
the blocks at the end of the day, insane.
Oh yeah,
oh my goodness,
he's an unbelievable player. But at the end of the day, he just turned 18. I mean, you shouldn't really expect a guy that just turned 18 to have to lead Duke of all schools to the championship. But I think he did a great job, honestly, this year. I mean, whether he chooses to stay or not, because he's hinted at possibly staying, I don't think he will. But whether he chooses to do that or not, all the best to him. And I'm sure, the people that are fans of lottery NBA teams are going to be hoping that they're able to get the number one pick for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing lights out. Obviously, he didn't get the shot at the very end, but doesn't mean he's a bad player. You're not going to make all your shots.
Of course.
That's just how it goes. But let's go for Houston to lose and Florida to take home the chip. But let's get into some news and notes officially from around the league, the NFL-wise. First set of news, big news. The number 3 overall pick in the 20-something draft, 2000 whatever draft, Trey Lance found himself a new home. He is signing with the Chargers. Gary, this is big news. You know why? Because he's just a great fantasy asset that everybody always were trying to draft him for. And then he turned out to be absolutely terrible. And now he is irrelevant in the NFL. And he's like just finding homes left and right.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually a third string now behind Taylor Heineke, I believe. So he's not even a backup. So if anybody were to be like, oh, I have Justin Herbert, let me just, get the guy that, if you're clinging on to the 1% chance of potential that he may have, it's probably a bad idea, because I really don't think he's going to get a shot outside of the preseason. So,
yeah, and honestly, I mean, we expect him to get some reps in the offseason, in training camp, in the preseason, like you just mentioned. But really, he could be signed today, and by the end of the preseason, he could be cut.
Yeah, for sure.
Some other news, another big name quarterback, the Bears are signing Case Keenum. I think the only memorable thing about Case Keenum is the Minneapolis Miracle when he threw it to Stephon Diggs.
Are we forgetting when he was on the Browns and he came in for one game and beat the Broncos?
I mean,
Forgetting about that?
anything really the Browns related, you can just kind of pass over because
Oh, I see. Okay.
I knew you were going to mention about the Browns, so I had to make sure that we skipped the Browns because I already knew you were going to mention it.
Right.
But I mean, he finds a home in Chicago. Not like he's going to really do anything, but again,
Mhm.
just Trey Lance, he could be again getting cut by the end of the preseason.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
These two quarterbacks fighting to have some hope in the NFL still. I am surprised though that Case Keenum. Like, do you think that the Minneapolis Miracle that happened, if it happened in today's day, like obviously it was what 4-5 years ago, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, but if it was today, do you think he would get a contract or at least get some type of opportunity where he can be a starter like Sam Darnold did?
I mean, he might get an opportunity, but I don't know. I don't know about anything more than that because that's just it's a one play wonder, I guess. I
Exactly.
mean, you said it yourself. That's really all you know him for. That's really all I know him for. Um, and it makes sense as to why his career has gone the way it has because he really just was never that good. So
I mean, we'll see if he makes the roster at the end
yeah.
preseason. Another set of news, but this one we'll dive into a rookie set of news. The Titans have canceled the private workout for Shedeur Sanders. This doesn't mean that they're completely out on Shedeur Sanders, but more they've seen everything that they needed to see from Shedeur Sanders, which I think honestly, in the end, I don't see him being a Tennessee Titan. And who knows? Maybe Deion Sanders said, listen, he could have told the Titans organization, he's not going here. Whether you want him or not, he's not going here. Did that happen? Hopefully not. But I think realistically, it's just showing more and more that Cam Ward will be the number one overall pick in this year's draft.
Yeah, I saw a lot of reports saying that within the front office, Cam Ward is their guy in Tennessee. So seems that anybody past the number one pick will not have the opportunity to draft Cam Ward, and I'm all for it. I think Will Levis's time is done in Tennessee, and they got to get a new face in there, and maybe he can solve their problems.
Yeah. And I mean, do you think Cam Ward, say for instance, Titans didn't have this pick, is Cam Ward really the number one overall pick? Or should he even be top 5?
Well, I mean, I personally have said that I think that Shedeur Sanders is going to be better by the end of their careers, and I really truly do. Um, at this moment, yeah, he looks like the number one overall pick, so I would say so. However, if like a team like the Patriots had the number one pick at the time, then they would be going Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. In my opinion, it's Abdul Carter. But so I mean, I think it all depends who's there and what the team needs are. Obviously, the Titans need a quarterback, and if the Browns were at number one, they also need a quarterback. They would also probably go Cam Ward. So teams that need a quarterback would for sure draft the number one. Teams that don't wouldn't. So that's just my 2 cents.
No, I mean, I can't disagree with you. I mean, and we might not even see another quarterback taken until mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, Shedeur could drop to the second round. Rumors has it the Giants and the Browns both don't seem to be interested in taking a quarterback at 2 and 3.
Yeah, I've seen some reports. I mean, at least on the Browns side, I saw that Deion Sanders said that he expects one of Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter to go to Cleveland. So what I'm hoping for is if that's
Travis
the
Hunter.
case, Hunter at 2, and Shedeur falls in the second
Shedeur.
round, and we can take him at 33. That would just be the perfect fit.
You know, I wouldn't actually be opposed to seeing that.
I know,
I'd
right?
like
That'd
to
be cool.
actually.
That'd be cool.
I really want to see Shedeur and Travis Hunter go to the same team, but it just looked so unlikely earlier in the year when the mocks were coming. But now it's
Right.
starting to get more real. And Shedeur from being a possible number 1 overall pick or top 5 to maybe not even making it to the first round, which we've kind of seen this before with Kenny Pickett's draft. Malik Willis,
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett, where there was a lot of teams where there was rumors that we could see 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks in the first, or we might not even see 1 quarterback in the first. We ended up only seeing 1, which makes me think Shedeur could be a second-round pick. And like you said, I agree with you. I think Shedeur could have a better career than Cam Ward will. It just all depends on the landing spot, really. If he goes to the Browns, well, Cam Ward will obviously have a better career. But that's because the Browns are just doomed.
How is that obvious, though? Because
it's because the Browns are doomed. They're doomed.
So who of the Titans got outside of Ryan Tannehill before?
I didn't say that they were
after,
good.
after
I didn't
Warren
say the Titans
Moon.
were good.
Exactly.
I never said they were good.
Exactly.
A Warren Moon, that's crazy. That's a throwback.
That's what I'm saying. Besides Ryan Tannehill, name their best quarterback ever. It's probably Warren Moon.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill really wasn't a part of. Marcus Mariota did pretty good. He went to the playoffs. Marcus Mariota.
He was never that good.
No, I'm not saying he was amazing. No,
he wasn't even. No, he was average.
Yeah, I mean, average at best.
Right. Exactly.
Some other news. 2 retirees. 2 players have officially retired. Teron Armstead. He retires after 12 seasons, 5 Pro Bowls. Great career he's had. Could be a Hall of Famer. Very could be. But I don't think he'll be first ballot at least. Someone who could be, and I think probably should be, is Julio Jones. He is also officially retired after 13 seasons and 7 Pro Bowl appearances. What's your take on more Julio's side? Like, can he be a first ballot Hall of Famer, or will he fall into the second, third, fourth ballot?
Without a doubt, first rounder, in my opinion. I don't think it's close. So he's one of the best wide receiver prospects that we've seen coming into the NFL and then living up to it. And he's one of the greatest physical jump ball receivers we've ever seen. Touchdown numbers were never like insane, but when you wanted a guy to go up and make a spectacular play, that was Julio Jones. And he was essentially just a worse Megatron, in all honesty. He was the Falcons version of Megatron. And the closest thing that we'll see to it again is maybe Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith? You think so?
Well, I mean, he's got the build and plays just like him, and he's only 19. He just turned 19 in December, so.
I think Julio should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think that most likely he might get screwed from it, and they might end up giving him like a second ballot.
Okay.
Which, I mean, in general, he should be a Hall of Famer regardless.
They might factor in the fact that he never got a ring, which
that's the thing.
I hate that. I hate that so much. People factor like, and I get it. Winning, obviously, when you go to the NFL, all you want to do is win a Super Bowl. But people forget that only one team can win each year. Like, truthfully, one team can win each year. So if you have a 10-year career and do enough to make the Hall of Fame, what are the chances that you're going to be on a team that wins the Super Bowl? 1 in 30 multiplied by 10. Like, are you serious? Like, come on now. People factor that in way too much, especially for a wide receiver. Like, they can't just single-handedly take over a game like a quarterback can. So,
yeah, and if you really think about it, if there's 53 players on a roster, 32 teams, there's almost 1,700 players across all the 32 teams, and that's not even including the practice squad. That's not including people who are in free agency that's had a chance to be back and forth in the NFL, who's been cut and back and forth. I mean, there's so many factors, and I mean, we could talk about Otto Graham having 7 Super Bowl rings, just like Tom Brady. I mean, are we talking about Otto Graham though being the GOAT? No, obviously, because now he just officially got the 7 rings, but still, I mean, it's Tom Brady. He did amazing whatsoever. Say, for instance, he only won 2 Super Bowls in his career, but one of those 2 Super Bowls was his undefeated season, and he ended up winning beating the Giants. we could say he was also one of the greatest at that point.
Yeah,
Still,
for
I
sure.
mean, it's so hard to win a ring. Did Megatron ever win a ring?
No,
No, he didn't. And
no, he
he's
was
by
always
far
with the
one of the
Lions.
greatest. He's by far one of the greatest wide receivers.
Exactly.
So I love Julio Jones. I think he's a great player. I mean, when the Falcons were in the Super Bowl, he had amazing, spectacular catches, the toe touch on the sideline and everything. I think it's just I also agree. I don't think the rings should be really the main factor, at least. Should be career yardage. I mean, how well you did. Almost like a WAR from baseball. Like,
Yeah,
what is the WAR in football? I wonder
yeah. I mean,
how that's if you could actually determine that. I feel like we should start doing a stat for that.
yeah, it'd be cool to see because it just makes me mad because granted there aren't a lot of players that are like this, but you could have the numbers in the simple eye test to show that you're one of the greatest players to ever play the game. But if you don't have a team around you, you're never going to win. And people factor that in so much. There's so many times where we've seen an unbelievable player on a terrible team, Nick Chubb, for example,
Yep.
and they're
Who's still
never
a free
going to,
agent?
who is still a free agent right now, who is never going to get the full spotlight because they're on a bad team and they can't do anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate that. It's a bias that is spread all across all sports, and I hate it so much. Of course, winning should be a small factor, but people make it the big centralized thing that you need to win to be like this top 5 player of all time. I disagree with that. I mean, especially if you never have the team around you. Like I don't. It's one thing to go and not win like 0 for 5 or whatever. But if you just don't have the team to get there, then that's not on you. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, and it sucks because they say the quarterback is the main factor, but DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, again, he also currently still in the NFL. Finally went to his first ever Super Bowl, and you could have said back when he was playing with Deshaun Watson. I mean, those two were so elite together that it was wild. They were breaking stats left and right, and again, has yet to win a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
Wild. It's wild.
crazy.
Something that also is a bit wild that just came out is Trey McBride is now the most highest paid tight end in the NFL. He signed a 4-year extension of $76 million. That's on average $19 million a year. The person behind him, making $17.125 million a year, is Travis Kelce. And then to round out top 5, you got TJ Hawkinson, who's number 3, making 16.5. George Kittle making 15, and Dallas Goedert making 14.25.
Yeah, and I mean that's definitely something that I kind of have kept an eye on because I was never the biggest Trey McBride guy. Still, honestly, am not.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Trey McBride. I think that they have literally that entire offense just running straight through him. He led the league in targets per game this year for tight ends with 9.2 a game, which is numbers that 2 years ago you would only see Travis Kelce and maybe George Kittle getting. But yeah, I mean, I think Kyler Murray loves him, and I think he's the guy that is going to make that offense flow because he is that blanket, security blanket guy. But it's the same thing with like Cooper Kupp, in my opinion. If he's not being force fed the ball, then he's really not going to make his own opportunities.
I mean, we could see, for instance, Trey McBride getting no targets in games because maybe Marvin Harrison is going to finally step up his game. He could be Trey McBride could be irrelevant. It could be a Brandon Ayuk situation. I think this was the most shocking one because Trey McBride, yeah, we know he was pretty good, but I didn't think he was so good like this that he deserved to be the highest paid tight end. Like maybe 6 or 7. Like maybe put him where like right after Mark Andrews, who's at 6, and right after David Njoku. No offense, but I mean, pay him that $13.5, $14 million a year, sure, but 19, almost $20 million, that's a lot.
I mean, the thing with him is that like I said, they absolutely love him in that offense. In the second half of the season after their bye week, from weeks 12 to
He did
18,
go off.
he averaged 12 targets a game.
Which he really shouldn't have. It should have been Marvin Harrison getting those targets.
And that's the thing with me. Like, I do this a lot, which it's a bad habit because it is a part of the game of obviously getting targeted a ton. But at the end of the day, I like players that make their opportunities more in spread out offenses more than being force fed the football like Cooper Kupp was in his Triple Crown year. I don't care. I'll go to the grave with that. But I'm starting to see the exact same thing from Trey McBride, because how do you go out and spend so much draft capital, the number 4 overall pick, on one of the best wide receiver prospects we've ever seen in Marvin Harrison Jr., and only give him like 5 targets a game? Then you're going to give this guy 9 in 12 targets a game in the back half of the season. Like, I don't get it. But that's why they're paying him.
I don't know if you can, if the sound outside is registering with the police sirens, but it's basically saying how criminal it is to be the number 4 overall pick and being relevant. I mean, what? It was us 3. You, Keith, and I all had him winning Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was more consensus Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, everybody thought he was gonna run
away
the
with
table.
It.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd like to see him being a bounce back player this year. The question is say he does end up second year becoming what we really were expecting to see him. Could he be comeback player of the year? Like, is that possible?
I don't think so. Just because, like, that's usually given to players that either
an injury and
have an injury or just like didn't play the previous year, and neither is the case for Marv. I would love to see it, of course, but I mean, if he just goes off, then he will get his flowers. So
yeah, I guess we'll see. One more set of news real quick. Joe Milton Nation, he's found himself a home. He goes to the Dallas Cowboys, and the Patriots, they had better offers on the table from what we were being told. And they decided that they're going to give Joe Milton a shot to wherever he wanted to go, or some of his top places that he wanted to go, Cowboys being one of the places. And the Patriots, they actually did get some good stuff back. They got a 5th round pick back, and they traded Milton in a 7th round pick. I love this for Joe Milton because I think he actually has a chance to be a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys if Dak Prescott ends up not being what we want him to see and lead him to the playoffs or anything along those lines. If he doesn't lead him to the playoffs this year, God forbid, Dak Prescott being paid one of the most money in the NFL, and you're not taking your team to the playoffs, there's a problem here.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I don't understand what this obsession with Joe Milton is by New England fans. I thought you guys were going to get a 3rd round pick for him.
I honestly,
that's what his market was, right? That's what his market was.
I thought he would have been. I thought we would have gotten a 4th round pick for him.
No, because he's a 3rd string quarterback that played in 1 game and played good against 3rd string defensive backups.
He's got an arm though.
Yeah, of course. So does I'm sure. So did every other NFL quarterback ever. Dylan Gabriel has an arm. Is he gonna be a legitimate starter in this NFL?
We're gonna see Joe Milton. He's got a chance. Okay. He's got a potential.
Well, I don't know how you guys didn't get a 3rd rounder for him, because that's what he's worth. No, he's not. Like, he's literally a 3rd round or a 3rd string quarterback that has played in 1 game. I don't know why the New England faithful was thinking they're going to get a premium round pick for a third-string quarterback that has played in one game. It makes absolutely no sense to me, but I don't know.
I think a third round was
it's a joke.
too much. I think that was too high of a price. I don't think he was worth a day one or a day 2 pick.
So was a fourth rounder, and I mean a seventh
fourth
rounder
is a day
isn't.
3.
It doesn't matter. You weren't going to get that. I'm sorry. Like I don't know.
Was a chance.
I don't know what you guys are thinking.
If there was a better offer on the table, then that means we might have had a fourth rounder.
Apparently there was. Apparently, I forgot who the reporter was. But apparently there was a better offer on the table, and the Patriots declined it out of respect to Joe Milton, and they sent him to where he wanted to be.
I mean, hopefully we'll see him in the preseason light it up again. Obviously, it doesn't mean much because it's the preseason. But if Dak Prescott goes down, CeeDee Lamb, you could see bombs thrown to CeeDee Lamb down the field.
See bombs thrown to the other team as well. I mean, we have a 1-game sample size.
That is true. That is true. We do have a 1-game sample size. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I just do hope that Joe Milton has potential. And I think he has potential in the NFL. Will we ever see it?
He has potential to be a Hall of Famer, man. He's got the arm.
That's a stretch. That one's a stretch. That one's a stretch. That one's a stretch.
Are you serious? That's a stretch?
I think that's a stretch. I think so. Give him a chance, though. Right. I think give him a chance.
We'll see.
You got any more news and notes from our league? Any breaking news?
Don't think so. Don't think so. No, nothing popping up.
All right. Well, I think it is time for one of the greatest segments, and it is time for the mock draft, Dynasty Rookie Mock Draft. So, of course, Gary and I, we have the first and the fourth picks in this draft. Gary, I wonder who you're going to take at the 101. I wonder who you're going to take at 101.
You know, I'm thinking of taking Travion Henderson.
Honestly, you could.
No, I'm not. I
still disagree with the Hampton and Henderson thing.
You said what? I apologize. You were cut out.
Oh, I was just saying Hampton and Henderson being at 2 3 I think is criminal.
Why is that?
I just don't, because I don't think they should. I don't think they're worth a 102, 103 pick in Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it just all depends where they land because the 2 guys that are being talked about as potentially being end of first rounders, but you got to make your pick here.
Yeah, I do. I very much do. I'm going to take a guy who's going to have a great landing spot in this year's draft. And people might say it could be a reach, but it is that he's on the thumbnail of the show, and that's Mika Ibuka.
Ah.
Yep. Okay. Followed by Territory McMillan, Judkins, Sampson, Warren, Burden. I did make this a snake because I wanted to make it interesting.
I see. I didn't notice that. Okay, I see.
This is a snake, but obviously in Dynasty Rookie Drafts, it is not a snake, but we want to shake things up. I'm on the clock again, and I'm still on board with Trevor Etienne, and I want to take a chance on him, and I want to see him have the potential to light it up in the NFL. You're on the clock here. Who would you have gone for if it came back to you?
I wanted. Are you saying if it wasn't a snake?
Yeah. If it was linear.
I probably would have just taken Cam Ward, in all honesty.
Really?
But, damn, I wanted Travis Hunter because I think he's actually going to go to the Browns, and the Browns love him as a wide receiver. So I actually think he's going to play as a wide receiver.
But if he doesn't go to the Browns, are you out on him?
I'd have to know what other teams think about him because all I know right now is that they love him as a wide receiver. So I know that he would actually play as a wide receiver. But I'm going to take a guy. I'm going to take a guy that I think is a stud, and he's being totally slept on in this draft. Possibly the best tight end in the nation last year.
Ooh. All right.
I guess I actually wouldn't put him over Tyler Warren, but I would definitely put him over Colston Loveland in his city school.
Loveland's getting hate. I see Loveland getting the hate. He was our thumbnail guy last show.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. You know?
I really think Isaiah Bond's a bust, in all honesty with you.
I can see it.
Let's just
Ollie Gordon has
just-
potential.
let's just
No, not
Let's
Jackson
just do it.
Darts.
let's just do
Not-
it. Why not?
Good snipe, because I was looking at Jackson Dart. I've yet to get a
Why
damn
not?
quarterback in these rookie drafts yet.
You can still
I'm gonna
take one.
a little dart throw. Yeah, could. Who's the next guy available? Let's see.
Milrow,
Oh, okay.
Gabriel,
Quinn
Howard,
Ewers.
McCord,
Quinn Ewers.
Ewers. Yep.
You know what? Just to spice things up, I will be taking a quarterback, and I will be taking the next available Jalen Milrow.
All right. I like it.
I think Milrow, he used to. Quinn Ewers. When
Ewers ends it off.
He ends it off. I'm surprised, actually. I think we only had 3 quarterbacks go last time.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's interesting. I do like Milrow. I just don't know if he will ever have a chance. I think really Ward, Sanders, and Dart are the only 3 that will have the most opportunity to possibly get a starting job.
I actually really like Milrow. I think that if he gets in a good system, gets an opportunity, and of course you could say this about any quarterback, but doesn't mess it up, I really, really think that he could be special in the league. So,
really,
yeah, I do. I've actually been a fan of his since the start of this college football year. I actually liked him. He struggled at first, but he really started to turn it up at the end, and I like him. I think he's getting a lot of hate, but I like him.
It's also crazy how Quinn Ewers was at one point also talked about as being one of the greatest.
Dude, he was when he committed to Ohio State, he has the all-time record tied with totally forgetting who it was. Terrell Pryor, I believe, as the highest rated prospect ever coming out of high school. And I thought he was going to be an absolute stud. Of course, he was committed to Ohio State, but then he transfers to Texas, got injured in his sophomore year. But, I mean, since then, he's just been okay, like, to be honest with you. Yeah.
You think really the injury is what kind of ruined, you could say, his career?
I don't know if I'd say that, but, I mean, because he did come back at the end of the year, I believe. I'm pretty sure he came back at the end of that year and played, so I don't think it totally derailed him, but I mean, he just simply has not lived up to it. And I mean, I'm fine with it. He came to OSU to get the NIL deal and then bounced out of there. So
can't complain, I guess.
That's what you get, Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, true. He did make the money though on the NIL.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then he watched his old Ohio State college roommate Jack Sawyer streamed down the sideline after a strip sack to send the team to the national championship.
That's very true. That is very true. He's been on our thumbnail. You enjoyed that. Yes. You enjoyed that thumbnail.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
I'm intrigued to see. Obviously, I mean, the next time we're going to do one of these is going to be after the NFL draft. So to go back to this, and at the end of the month, it's going to be very interesting to see because this could be completely different. But I will say, do you have any players in mind that you think could jump up the draft board and or could drop down the draft board?
A player that I think could jump up is Caleb Johnson, running back out of Iowa. He really, really showed out last year, and I think that if he, of course, goes to the right offense and is involved in the offense, then he can be something great. Same thing. I feel the same way about Devin Neal. I'm not the biggest Scatterbo guy. I know a lot of people are because he, can do it all. Showed out in that game against Texas, but unfortunately, I think he'll just be average. And I think, in all honesty, Golden could also fall. I don't think he's that special. I think he's a good slot guy, but I don't think he'll take over as anything more than that. And of course, obviously, to round it off, Travis Hunter could jump into a top 5, top 3 pick, depending on where he goes and if he's involved in the offense like he was at Colorado.
Yeah, I think Hunter's the biggest one to see because we could see him completely jump up. We could also see Sanders jump up into the very back end of the first round as well. Obviously, depending on the spot that he goes. You mentioned Matthew Golden dropping. I think he actually has a potential to climb up. Not saying a lot of spots, but maybe climb to like 1-7. And that's only solely because of wherever he lands. I mean, and I think the 3 running backs we see right now, GT obviously number 1. I mean, we know he's going to be the number 101. Hopefully he doesn't become like Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the 101 and doesn't become what we want him to be. But Amari Hampton and Trevion Henderson, I mean, are 2 guys that I think could very, very easily slip down to the middle, late first. Because Hampton, okay, he could be a late first-round pick, but Henderson we might not see until day 2. And if we don't see until day 2, which we will see in day 2, him being drafted, he could get drafted to a team that already has a good running back. And it's just going to make him fall down in the draft boards, I believe. And same thing along with Judkins. I mean, these 2 guys that are day 2 picks, we don't know. They could go anywhere. There could be teams that are just going to dart throw. And we're going to see a dart throw, and it could just be on these 2 guys who might not be fantasy relevant come time to draft.
And that's why I'm so excited for Dynasty drafts, because I think I've said it all year, this draft class is absolutely loaded. Of course, it's more deep than top heavy, but you do have top heavy guys, and man, you can get some steals in the 3rd round, both in Dynasty and in the actual NFL.
I'll say my biggest advice to anyone who has a Dynasty league right now, before the NFL draft, is, because Dynasty is all year round, is when you should be trying to trade for picks in the middle, late first-round pick. Because we might see a lot of them fall to the back end. We might see some of them jump up. But the moment you get a lot of picks at the end, you can now use those as draft capital to trade up. You could trade, so you get a 1-7 and a 1-9. You could trade a 1-7, 1-9 and maybe like a late 2nd or late 3rd and jump up to 1-4.
Yeah.
And get someone like Emeka Egbuka who could be there. Or Territory McMillian, or Travis Hunter, whoever climbs up that draft board.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot. What do you think? Good show, right?
Great show. It only ran 40 minutes.
I mean, that's usually what happens with these rookie mock drafts, especially because it's only 3 rounds. If it's 5 rounds, we might see another 5-10 minutes. But it was another great show. Didn't have anyone else on. Dylan, was it? It was Dylan, right?
Cooper.
You know why? I'm thinking of Dylan Sampson. He tried coming, but he took Sampson last time, didn't he?
I can't remember, honestly.
I don't know. I can't remember, but anyways, it was another great show once again. Next week's show, we got ourselves a mock draft of the first round, 5.0, our 5th live mock coming, and it's going to be another great one that you don't want to miss. Again, if you haven't done so already, go use that code SportsTimeHQ. They're going to match first deposit up to $1,000. So once again, SportsTimeHQ, go use that code, Underdog Fantasy. They're going to match it up to $1,000. And if you haven't done so already and you're looking to purchase a trophy, a ring, or a belt, go to TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. So why not? Go get yourself that trophy. Go get yourself that ring. Go get yourself that belt. Or any kind of things that you want to spice up the background of your show. Or, obviously Gary, he's going to be in the listener league once again with us. And he's going to get the poop bowl trophy, right?
Right. No, I noticed I didn't go into that listener league for a while. I just ended up going on Sleeper a couple days ago. I looked in the chat and I noticed that I got the toilet bowl trophy and I wasn't even near last.
Did you?
I was 7-7, and I got the toilet bowl. I think I missed playoffs by a game, and I got the toilet bowl trophy, as if I was remotely close to the bottom.
Hold on, I want to go to this listener league. We're not ending this show until I check out.
It was
Gary
hilarious.
Dombach. Check it out. You can look at it right there.
It was hilarious.
He got the toilet bowl trophy. I don't even think you can really see it too well, but
I don't know how you managed to do that. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
You were in the toilet bowl and you lost every single round.
I see. So it doesn't go by actual record.
No.
In the regular season, I should say.
So then that means we we concluded that you won the toilet bowl.
Yeah, all right, sure.
And your team was one of the worst.
Sure. Yes, it was this year. After I didn't set it for the rest of the year once I lost. If you look at my team, it's actually pretty good. I don't know how I did horrible, but it's all right.
Let's see. How's your team? Jameis Winston, trash. Joe Mixon, amazing. He just didn't do that great towards the end. Karen Williams, great. Judy, fantastic.
Was great.
Jefferson, great. Ingram struggled at the end. Tank struggled. Warren, not bad.
I mean, I had Olave who was hurt.
Yeah, you had a good team.
Our team was good. For it to be the worst team is blasphemy. But it just
didn't show up. It just didn't show up at the end when you needed it to.
Well,
how many games did you miss the playoffs by?
I missed it by 1. I went 7-7 in the regular season, so it's like
no.
So like I had a solid team, but
you did, yeah. You missed it by 1 game. 1 game.
Yeah.
And I had the best record, and I lost in the very end. Which I lost in the very end by 3 points. 2.5
all right,
points,
pal.
to be honest with you. 2.5. Just when you think you won it all. You can't celebrate until it's the end. Until the final scores are out. But again, we'll be back. We're here every single week on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to do it for this week's show, and we'll see you all on Wednesday.